Can you imagine leaving everything you know behind? The comfort of your home, the familiarity of your surroundings, the people you love and cherish? That's what God asked Abraham to do. It was a monumental request, one that would change the course of his life forever. He called Abraham to leave his home, his family, his comfortable life, to step out into the unknown, with no clear destination in sight. Abraham didn't even know where he was going. Imagine the uncertainty, the questions that must have filled his mind. He simply trusted God's voice. A voice that promised him something greater, something beyond his wildest dreams. Talk about a leap of faith. It was a journey that required immense courage and unwavering belief. Abraham could have easily said no. He could have chosen the safety and security of his current life. He could have stayed put, enjoying the warmth of his home, the company of his friends and family. But something in his heart stirred, a calling that he couldn't ignore, a promise that beckoned him forward. He felt the tug of a promise, a journey with God, a journey that would lead him to a new land, a new beginning. And so he packed his bags, gathered his family, and stepped into the unknown, leaving behind everything he had ever known. Leaving everything behind wasn't easy. The memories, the connections, the life he had built. I'm sure Abraham had moments of doubt, moments where he questioned his decision, where he longed for the familiarity of his old life. He must have missed his old life sometimes, the comfort, the predictability, the sense of belonging, but he kept going one step at a time, trusting that God would lead him, trusting that the journey, though difficult, would be worth it in the end. God had given Abraham an amazing promise. He would be the father of a great nation. This promise was not just any promise, it was a divine covenant, a sacred bond between God and Abraham. It was a promise that would change the course of history and bring forth a lineage that would be as numerous as the stars in the sky. But there was a problem, a significant, heart-wrenching problem that seemed insurmountable. Abraham and his wife Sarah were old. They had no children. Their advanced age made the promise seem impossible, almost like a cruel joke. Years went by. Silence. Still no child. Imagine the whispers, the doubts, the endless nights of questioning and the days filled with silent prayers. The questions swirling in Abraham's mind. Had God forgotten? Was the promise just a fleeting dream? Was the promise too big? Waiting is hard. The weight of uncertainty can be crushing. Waiting when the odds are stacked against you is even harder. The journey seemed endless, the destination unreachable. But even in the waiting, Abraham held on to hope. He believed in the promise, even when everything around him suggested otherwise. He chose to believe, even when it was hard. His faith was unwavering, a beacon in the darkest of times. He clung to God's promise, trusting that God would be faithful. Abraham's story is a testament to the power of faith and the strength found in waiting. Just when Abraham's faith was at its strongest, he faced the ultimate test. God asked him to do the unthinkable, something that would challenge the very core of his beliefs. He asked Abraham to sacrifice Isaac, the son he had waited so long for, the child of promise. Can you imagine the pain in Abraham's heart? The internal struggle must have been immense. This wasn't just a test of obedience, it was a test of his deepest convictions. It was a test of trust, a test of whether Abraham truly believed that God would keep his promises, even in the face of such a heart-wrenching command. At the last moment, as Abraham was about to obey, God stopped him. It was a divine intervention that changed everything. He provided a ram for the sacrifice, showing that he never intended for Isaac to be harmed. Abraham had passed the test. His faith had been proven genuine. He had shown that his faith was real, that he trusted God even when it hurt, and that trust was rewarded. Abraham's journey is our journey too. We all face moments of doubt, times when God seems distant. We may question his promises, wonder if he's really there. But Abraham's story reminds us that faith isn't about the absence of doubt. It's about trusting God even in the midst of it. So the next time you're facing a mountain, remember Abraham. Remember his courage, his trust, his unwavering belief in God's goodness. What impossible situation are you facing today? Can you trust God even when you don't understand?